can bet on their computer, and they'll sit there and they'll just bet all day and watch races. And it's not like you go to one track and that's all you get is those 9 races for the day or those 11 races for the day.
Right.
So there's huge money in it. Huge. It's a sport that is not going to go anywhere. The dog apparently wants to play fetch with me, which I will not do right now.
Fantastic.
Leave me alone.
But you know what? It's everything that you read and maybe you watched in an old movie and stuff like that. The old guy sitting there, the old grizzled veteran sitting there in the chair with the stogie in his mouth, sitting there going over the program, getting pissed because he lost another race and stuff like that. That's exactly the way it is when you do go to the race.
Well, it is. I've been going to the track since I was like a really young kid with my dad.
Right.
I remember him taking me to Yonkers. I was like 12 or 13. And my Uncle Pepe, when he was still alive, was there. And, there's like 30 people there.
Right.
And maybe there's 100, but it's so scattered at Yonkers. It's all over the place.
Right.
And there's some toothless guy talking to himself. And apparently he's with our group, and I'm like, oh, my God, this is freaking scary. And my Uncle Pepe takes me aside. And he's like, you always put a little money aside in case you meet a girl. I'm like, Uncle Pepe, I'm not meeting any girls here. He's like, no, you're right. But you never know when you're gambling, this, that, and the other thing. But I've been going for a long time. You go to Saratoga. It's a beautiful crowd. It's a beautiful everything. I'm sure Del Mar on the West Coast has the same thing. Right. But most of these other tracks, you really don't want to. Belmont occasionally, but you really don't want to go to any of these other tracks. You're not meeting the creme de la creme of the community. Let's put it.
Well, you know what? We used to spend Thanksgiving down in Tom's River with my wife's family.
So you go to Monmouth?
Freehold.
Freehold, even worse. Monmouth is actually nice. Freehold is not.
Freehold. That's what I witnessed. But it was good. It was a learning experience for my kids because I can look and say, Matt, Nick, don't let this happen to you.
It's a scary, scary thing. It is a cautionary tale. You can just point to anybody in the place and say, this could be you if you really get caught on the wrong side of this whole gambling thing.
Well, that's me. That's why I need to stop.
Well, you didn't have a good run during the Super Bowl. I'll give you that.
No.
I did, not as good as I wanted to, but I hit a couple of bets parlays that helped me. But I didn't have the game right. And, I had the Rams covering, which they did not. Mm-hmm. There we are. But we all thought the Rams would win. I just didn't think that they wouldn't cover. I thought they'd win by a touchdown. Just didn't work out that way. But football is a mere, I don't know, 7 months away.
Right.
6 if we count. But we'll be talking draft and we'll be talking about everything else leading up to it. As Giant fans, there's a lot of things for us to look forward to in the draft.
The real degenerates, though, they'll be betting on the USFL.
It's sad but true. The XFL will also now has been announced that it will be back
in 2023.
So, and they have an affiliation with the NFL. So,
right,
we're just going to have some minor league football going on right now. Soon we're going to see a bunch of guys that skip college and go right to the minor leagues of football.
And by the way, when it comes to the NCAA, we'll be hopefully down in Atlantic City for a day or two when we do our drafts, depending on what's going on with the labor talks and stuff, which we'll get to in just a few minutes. But basically, I'll just say, "What are you betting, Darren?" And then I'll bet the same thing.
Well, it's not as easy as it. You sometimes you feel like you got it down, and and then your team comes out and shoots 3 for 20 from 3-point range, and you don't win. But it'll be fun. I mean, I'll know why I'm betting on each team. It doesn't mean that they're going to come in.
Right. Yeah.
That'll be the big difference. As Bill can tell you, it's actually my favorite sport. I love college basketball. It's my favorite sport. It's a sport I probably follow closer than most anyone you've ever spoken to. It's just one of those things that I'm talking about the 3 or 4 people listening out there. So, but the reality is that, we'll have fun. We'll bet on some, we'll bet on some hockey. We'll bet on some college basketball, and we'll do our fantasy baseball draft. And our goal is to try to do it, live on here on StreamYard, so people can kind of hear the boringness of actually sitting there waiting a minute to listen to a draft. It'll be real exciting for everybody.
It's going to be real exciting for you to do it as you're trying to keep track of what's going on, trying to talk, trying to do your draft and stuff like that.
Well, the exciting part for me, though, is that I traded away my 3rd and 4th picks. I'm probably keeping my first, so I'm not going to have a pick in the first round. I'm probably keeping my 11, 10, and 9. So I'm going to have just 3 picks in the first half of the draft. So, and while you have it the other way, you're very heavy early.
Yeah, I'm done after 15.
So I'll host the first half of the draft, and you'll host the second half, because otherwise we're not going to be able to. You have to, because you have enough picks where you're going to be busy.
Yeah,
I, who didn't finish far ahead of you,
I got to tell you.
Picks, so it's going to be really interesting. We'll explain it later, but selling out and finishing 6th, or 5th, whatever I did, not really good. So it's just the way
what? Just because you mentioned it just now, I did a mock draft.
Oh, you did one already?
Of course I did. Where basically, I really just kind of took whoever was available and whoever the next player was. So it's not really scientific. It's just,
Before you get into it, just one thing. Did you do a cleanse before you did your draft, like Aaron Rodgers had to do in India, or did you just do the draft? Because I don't know, because I have to go to India to cleanse before I do anything. I don't know about you.
Dude, I can go to the Pakistani restaurant in Port Jeff down the block, and I can cleanse right there.
And there we are. Anyway, I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to make sure that you were ready for this draft, this mock.
We had to make sure that we got that joke in.
Well, we talked about it earlier. There's no reason to let it slide.
Oh, by the way.
And you gave me a segue. I had to take it.
We're talking about Aaron Rodgers, who was on the Pat McAfee show today. And evidently, he sees clearly. He wanted to thank his fans. And he feels that he's been cleansed by going to India. And he's of sound mind. He's got sharp wit, and he's ready to make whatever decision he's got to make. And he's clear about it now. Because he was cleansed.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Are you equally clear about where you want to go with your mock draft?
Yeah. Well, dude, let me tell you. Again, like I said, it's not scientific. It was pretty much going down the list. I only bring this up because you brought it up. So with the draft, okay. And basically, whoever picks first, and it just went. Whoever the top guy was went there, and then the next top guy went there. Blah 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 blah. But because we've got all the keepers and stuff listed, I was able to kind of do it. Okay.
Gino does an amazing job of getting that ready for us. I got to give him that. He does. He does. I'm the commissioner in name only. Gino really does the nuts and bolts.
Right. So let me tell you, I was reading this to my son before, and he goes, "What the WTF? Here's my team." I stopped at round 15 because I was almost done anyway.
Yeah. I've got 2 picks left.
This is what my team turned out to be: Cody Bellinger, Gleyber Torres, Dante Bichette, Bo Bichette.
Bo Bichette, who you're keeping, right?
Yeah, but with the 22nd round.
It's awesome. You got 1 more year with him, so you might as well jump on it.
Machado.
I can't believe he traded you Bichette, by the way. That was he and I saw each other on Sunday, John and I, and we talked about it. He was like, I can't believe I traded Bichette. I thought about you. I was like, Bill fleeced John on that one, because John's usually a guy that kind of fleeces, but Powers got him on that one. I thought it was pretty good.
Thank you. Rendon. I got Acuna Matata, Austin Meadows, Byron Buxton, Ryan Mountcastle, Anthony Rizzo. My pitchers.
Is Byron Buxton ever going to be good?
Because he's always good. He just doesn't play.
He's got amazing talent, yet he never puts it all together for more than a month or so. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, he does, and then he pulls a hamstring.
Yeah, I love the guy. Talent alone, you love the guy.
So my pitching, Severino, who I kept with the 16th pick, that taking a chance.
Smart play.
Alcantara, Hader, Max Fried, Charlie Morton, Ryan Presley
right now.
Aaron Chapman, Ian Anderson, Jansen, Urquidy, Kopech, Donaldson, and Kebron Hayes. Now, here's your team.
Well, here's the thing you got to remember. Now, I start off the season keeping Tatis and Turner, so arguably 2 of the 4 best players in the whole thing, right? And after that, I suck. Anyway, go ahead.
I didn't have you keeping Turner, just so you know. I didn't think you wanted to give up your first round pick.
I'm giving up my first round pick because I don't think I get anybody better than him.
Right. So you've got Voit, you got Dansby Swanson, Alec Boehm, or Boehm, whatever the fuck his name is.
I love that kid.
Tatis, Miguel Sano with his 40 home runs, batting 181. You got Bryce Harper, Giancarlo, Max Muncy, Aldois Garcia, the kid from the Rangers.
Yep.
Tommy Pham. Your pitching is Barrios, Snell, Will Smith, Jordan Romano, and DeSclafano. So basically, you're drafting the last place team.
I am awful. I arguably have two of the best 4 players. If we just went simply on top 5 players, I have 2 of them, and I have a good shot of finishing dead last. And the thing is, it'll be Tank for Tatis for me if I'm that way, because I can't keep him another year. We have strict rules. Okay, you're allowed to keep 5 guys. You're only allowed to keep 2 of your top 5 round pick, 2 of your first 5 picks, and first picks in the first 5 rounds. I should say.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, but I stumbled through that really smoothly. Mm-hmm. And you can only keep a guy for 3 years. This way, someone doesn't draft Mike Trout as a rookie and they have him for 20 years. You have to give somebody up. So you don't get to hold on to anybody. They go back into the free agent pool after 3 years. And the 3rd year, if you keep them, they lose a round. So if you drafted a guy in the 10th round, and by the 3rd year, he's a 9th round pick. And if you picked up a free agent, it automatically costs you a 10. So we have some strict rules that we try to make it a little bit, convoluted with. And, it makes it kind of fun. So I have 2 great keepers and I have crap after that.
You know what the amazing thing is? Like when we first did it, it was like, you don't want to give, you don't want the guy to have A-Rod for forever. Here's the thing though. These players like Bo Bichette, my last year I can keep him, but he's only like 21 years old.
I know.
Same thing with Tatis
Guerrero's a free agent this year. Tatis is a free agent next year. So is Bo Bichette.
Acuna's a free agent this year.
Acuna's a free agent. I mean, there's a lot of studs out there.
Right.
It's kind of funny how it works out, but we do enjoy our fantasy baseball league because the strategy of it is very different than the football league that we're in.
Absolutely.
So it makes it more fun. And I know some people, it's too much time. I'm like, it's 5 minutes a day.
Right.
It literally is 5 minutes a day, unless you want to throw yourself into it, and you put a whopping 15 to 20 minutes in.
Right.
If it's more than, there are some days where it's 90 seconds.
If
we just started for that, my lineup is set, we go.
Right.
It's so I always laugh at the people that say it's too much time. No, the draft is more fun and the year is more fun. But anyway, That's just me.
And we do 6x6, so people know we don't do head to head. We do 6x6.
We added the extra categories, which I know you were against.
Yeah, and I'm still against. So,
but you outvoted.
Of course,
the 5x5 is the standard. We added holds.
Yep.
So that middle relievers become somewhat reliable in the fact that it's hard to always get closers that are actually good, and it's hard to find middle relievers that have 2 good years in a row. So it's always fun to do that.
Right.
And then we added, what was it?
Was it on base?
It wasn't on base. We added, what's
OPS?
that major stat everybody talks about now? Why can't I think of it? It's the
WAR.
No, we didn't have WAR. We added.
Was it OPS or?
Yeah, we had OPS. I couldn't think of it. I don't know why. We added OPS. OPS is not dramatically different for any of us.
No.
The holds thing was a little different for all of us.
Right.
I was the one that was proponent of it. I think I finished last in holds. So it really showed. Probably the reason why I didn't finish in the money was holds, and that was something I fought to add and make it a 6x6 to make the league a little more balanced. Bill likes it a little more simplified.
Yeah.
I like to make it a little more complicated. So therefore, Bill's usually right, and I'm usually wrong on that.
And here's the big question. Are we going to be able to draft when we draft? Will we have baseball ready to roll?
Well, apparently, 5-hour meeting yesterday, not a lot of movement. The thing that makes me laugh about it is, okay, the pandemic finally seems like it's behind us.
Right.
And now these idiots are going to try to screw this up by not getting baseball out and just looking selfish when fans haven't been able to go out into the ballpark without a mask and all this other stuff for so long, or enjoy themselves or feel comfortable. And now that it seems like the world's starting to open up a little bit, these idiots are going to fight about something, that they should be able to sit in a room for 3 hours and knock down. Well, you want the minimum salary to be $1 million? I want it to be $600,000. Let's just call it $800,000 and call it a day. We'll raise each level up another $100,000 above where it is right now. Why is it so complicated? It really isn't.
It really isn't. And here's the other thing. Why did we have to wait until we're on the precipice of losing regular season games or pushing the regular season back? You had 3-4 months to take care of this, and we're waiting to the last possible second.
Here's the thing. The popularity of the NFL is only growing. Whether you like the brand of the sport now or you like it better then, doesn't matter. It's still growing. just like that halftime show, just growing, real exciting.
Oh yeah.
But so you have that. You have the NBA